Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Studio Live today and the Creator Town Hall. Only just made it in time. Woo! On the show today, we are talking about Song Timber. We're talking about some GarageBand iOS tips. We got some gear-related talk. We've got an Ask Me Anything with my wife coming up very soon. We've got some midpoint motivation, and we'll be talking a little bit about YouTube and getting your YouTube channel set up if you are a creator. And if you are a creator, settle on in, because for the next hour, we're going to be talking all about creation, specifically music creation in the home studio. Can you tell that I'm a little bit frazzled from Song Timber? And why don't we just cut to the chase and start talking about that right up front? Song Timber is amongst us. And what is Song Timber? Well, it's a month where I create, record, release a song all in the month of September. And I invite you to do exactly the same thing. And if you use the hashtag SongTimber, that one there, or go over to studiolivetoday.com/SongTimber, you'll find out all about it. So I've been working on my song. I'll give you a little update on that as we go through the show here today. And we'll also hear from some other folks who have been working on their Song Timber songs as well. So that should be a whole lot of fun. We are brought to you today here by my studio gear guide. Now, if you jump on over to studiolivetoday.com/gear, here's where I haven't set up my screen share, which I should have done prior to the show. This is a professional at work here. This is the studio gear guide here. Now, I've just updated this today, and this has all of the gear that I use here in the home studio. So the microphone I'm using here, the mixer that I'm using to go through, the webcam that I'm staring into right now, everything that I use, my iPad, my guitar, my keyboard, it's all here, and you can scroll through and check it all out. This week, right here on the channel, I've been checking out some new gear. I've been taking a look at this one, the iRig Pro Duo IO from IK Multimedia. This is a great piece of kit. Here it is here. So it's plugged in over here at the moment, so I'll just unplug that one. This one here, it is such a nice little audio interface, and I've been meaning to test this one out because I used to use the iRig Pro IO. I reached out to IK Multimedia and said, hey, any chance I can try out the Duo version, the 2-channel version? And they said, sure. And they sent this one to me, and I've been checking that out here on the channel this week, and that has been going great guns. I've been super enjoying that. I have also, over here, I've been checking out some other gear as well. The Atola 4-port hub. This thing is great. It's super lightweight, but it's super solid, made of aluminium. It's a USB-C to USB-A hub, and it is a great little device. I used this to record today in the live show that I did, recording from my audio interface, the one you just saw, as well as my MIDI keyboard. So that's cool. And I've also been checking out this one, the Atola USB-C to VGA, HDMI, and USB adapter. So there's a heap of those sort of things over there as well. So do jump over to the gear guide. If you're in the market for some gear, you can check it out over there. What else has been going on around here? Well, I wanted to talk about some folks that have been sharing their experience on YouTube. So people who have been creating songs for Song Timber, who have been writing songs, recording songs, and getting ready to release songs. We've already had one. We've had Andy Goldsby from the Indigo Sunsets has already released his song. Can you believe that? He's just done it. He's like, oh, I got marathons to run, Johns. I'm going to go ahead and release my song, which is just awesome. It's a great song. I don't have that one queued up here to play, funnily enough, because I don't know if he's shared it on YouTube, and everything I have here is YouTube today. But we have a bunch of folks who have started sharing on YouTube, and we're going to jump in and show some of these now. Now, everything that we talk about in this show is linked in the description. Yes, I've done the hard work for you so that you don't have to do anything after the show. All the links are down in the description, so you can do that. Now, our friend of the channel, friend of the show, friend of me, Jade Starr, has been working on her Song Timber song for FMC. We can't mention what that stands for here on the show, but she'll tell you if you go over and check it out. And you can see here that she's been working on this in GarageBand. There's Jade working hard there, doing her thing. We'll take a listen in here. Yeah. That's exactly the sort of drums I program on my songs, yeah? So go over and check out Jade on her channel, and she's working on a bunch of songs for Song Timber. she's going to overachieve again and do like a whole EP worth of songs, no doubt, over there as well. So go and check that one out, link down below. We've got other folks who've been sharing stuff. I've got to play you this one because our man Darren Anderson, he's a Queenslander, so we have to give him a little bit of leeway here. But he's been sharing his process for Songtember, and let's go in and let's jump in live, well, live to tape, and see what Darren's been sharing over there on his channel.
G'day guys, hope you're well.
Yeah. Hey, Daz. He's been watching too much YouTube. He's been watching too many of us hyped up people on YouTube trying to go a bit over the top, and he's obviously decided that that's the way he's going to go to there. So then he goes into a little bit more low-key stuff and shares his process and how he's been going through the month of Songtember as well. Mr. Gregory O'Sullivan over there in Melbourne town. Shout out to my friends in Melbourne and Sydney. I know that you've only been locked down for about 427 days now, so I apologise for that. I know it's going to be tough, but you will get there. This too shall pass. But our man Gregory has been working on this little ditty. Yeah, right. How cool is that? I'm going to love it when all of these folks go ahead and copyright these songs. We'll talk about YouTube and copyright later. They'll go and copyright these songs, and then I'll look back and go, why do I keep getting copyright claims? And it's because I shared like 4 seconds of all of these songs that everyone was working on. But no, I don't think most of the members of this community listen to what I say about YouTube content ID and copyright and don't bother with it because it's kind of a bit of a crock. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm getting a bit unfiltered here. And we've got more here. Yes, Ashley HM has been working on some pretty rockin' tunes as well. So she's been getting ready for Songtember, and she already had a song that she released right at the start of the month. And I said, that's cool, but why don't you do more? Because I always want more. So Ashley's been working on something cool here. Let's take a look in and a listen at what Ashley's got going on here. Right, yeah, kicking it old school with the guitar there. So super happy, super proud that a lot of folks have been creating and recording and sharing their progress, because I think documenting your process and documenting your progress when you're creating a song is so cool. I love seeing how other people put stuff together, and I know that other people love seeing how other people put stuff together. You're always going to learn new things when you check out what other people are doing. Now, if anyone's here live or if anyone's watching on the replay and you have started your Songtember journey, drop it in the comments. Drop it in the live chat right here, right now, if you're here on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, and drop it down in the comments on the video afterwards. I'll update the description. I'll put in your videos. So anyone that's doing Songtember that's sharing their process online. I've deliberately on this video, I've only shared folks who have shared stuff publicly. So there's plenty of other folks who are sharing over at the Create, Record, Release Facebook group. So if you want to find out even more and you want to get more involved, head over to createrecordrelease.com. That is the official Facebook group of Studio Live Today. And in fact, last check, we were at 999 members on the Create, Record, Release group. I wonder if there's someone watching this stream right now who is not a member of CRR and who's going to join up and who's going to become our 1,000th member. Yep, we are still legitimately at 999. If you don't believe me, and I don't know why you wouldn't, check that out. That's a live look in to the group 999 members. It is a private group, so you do have to apply and you have to get approved. But if someone does that in the next like 50 minutes during the show, you could be our 1,000th member of Create, Record, Release. So just go to createrecordrelease.com if you do want to be part of the fun. It's a cool Facebook group. There's lots of really cool people there sharing lots of really cool music. We've got a whole bunch more to talk about, but before we do, we're going to say g'day to the folks who are here live on the stream. We have Mr. Dave Fox. We have Ashley HM. We were just talking about you. We have Maffy's Garden, which is our man, Matt. Thank you for joining us. Hello to, I'm going to call you Arape101. I've changed the pronunciation. Now, Gregory O'Sullivan is here. We're just talking about you. Were your ears burning? Deep Gravity's here. We got Zen Haircut is here as well. Thank you all for joining us here. SG Music. Hope you are doing well. Orchestra Eclipse. Thank you for checking on in. What does Zen Haircut say? I read in Songwriters Market that the only thing pro people will touch is Pro Tools. Ooh, should we talk about that later? It wasn't going to be on the list, but we could chat about it. We're gonna get ranty in the. Actually, we will talk about almost exactly that when we get to our ranty section. Absolutely. We'll just jump in here. I haven't had to update anything for a while, and I don't think we have a whole lot of mods here. Hello, in parts of Germany and Austria. So I'm just going to have to jump in and do some smackdown moderating myself here, because that's the way we roll here. We get stuff done when I have to roll up my sleeves and put my big boy pants on and do some moderating. We can do that. So we'll just do that. We'll just go pop, and we solve problems. That's how we solve the problems around here. So, problem is solved. You're watching on the replay, you're like, what just went on? Don't worry, it was fine. Problem happened, we solved it. It is why we, it's actually why we do things like what I'm doing tomorrow. So we've got a live show tomorrow, and what I'll do tomorrow is putting on subscribers only. So sometimes I just let anyone come in here and comment on the stream, and sometimes I put subscribers only on. And I was feeling charitable tonight, so I'm like, I'm just going to open it up to the public. And guess what? The public came, and now the public have gone. Should we move on? Absolutely. Let's go on to our next section here. We're going to talk about a video that I put out this week about GarageBand iOS tips, because I get asked a lot of questions from folks who are just starting out with GarageBand. And down in the description, you'll find this video. It is all about GarageBand iOS. Here it is. I actually recorded it live on this week's GarageBand Weekly show, which was a lot of fun, and you might have caught it live, but I've since then chopped it up here, and look, I've done all the work. Don't say I don't do nothing for you. I've done all the work here to actually segment it out here. So all of the different sections here, we talked about using the drummer as a metronome, song sections, getting a lead-in section, section names, the 2-track hack, the master volume hack, naming tracks, singing your ideas in, using master reverb and echo, version control, and how to use iCloud Drive. So we covered a heap in this video. It's only 18 minutes, 18 and a half, 19 minutes long, and there's a lot of cool stuff in there. So I hope that you can go and check that one out. If you haven't already, go and check it out, because I put a lot of work into that one, and hopefully it's going to help you. If you are a GarageBand creator, if you're a songwriter and you're creating your stuff in GarageBand, then you can go ahead and do that and check it out. Yes, and you're right. Most of the people are most of the people are subscribers, and yeah, we got they give up eventually. That's the thing. Yeah, we have a few people that pop in. What green screen software do I use and recommend is a great question. And in fact, if you have questions, by the way, all you need to do is if you've got a question, I don't have the little thing that I normally have here. I'll bring it up over here. If you have a question, just put the word question in front of your question. I think I have it here. There it is. Just put the word question in front, and I'm more than happy to answer any live questions we get as we go through the different topics that we have to chat about here today. So we will jump in here. What green screen software do you use and recommend? So I don't actually use green screen software per se. I use StreamYard. So what I'm using right now, the reason I can throw Pagan Songs comment right up here is that I use StreamYard. And StreamYard has the ability to set yourself with a green screen. Now, at the moment, I don't have a green screen because I've just got my regular background behind me. But if you see my happy hour shows, if you see Your Music Live and some of my other shows, you'll see that I have green screens behind me, and I use StreamYard. So whenever I live stream, I use StreamYard. And StreamYard it's a free service. If you want to try it out, you can use it for I think 20 hours a month, and you can use it for free. The only thing that you get there is you have a little thing, you get a little duck in the corner that looks just like that. So you have to have this powered by StreamYard logo there if you don't have the full version. If you do have the full version, you can do things like putting your own logo in there, right? How cool is that? You can stick other logos in there. You can do that sort of thing. But that's the only limitation. If you want the full version, which has like 1080p streaming, stereo audio, and all the cool stuff that I use here, it's about $30 a month, depending where you are in the world. If you want to find out about StreamYard, there's a link down below. Use the link, check it out for free, sign up, and try it out. I highly recommend it. I use it for all my live streams. Excuse me. GB for Mac is better than GB for iOS. Is that a question or a statement? Because we'll talk a little bit about that later, that whatever you use is the best for you. Whatever works for you and your workflow is the best thing for you and your workflow. There is no such thing as better or worse when it comes to music creation. It's whatever works for you. If you use Ableton or Logic or Reaper or Pro Tools or GarageBand, it doesn't matter. You can use Fruity Loops Studio, for goodness sake, and get a good sound these days. So whatever you want to use, go your hardest. All right, let's scroll on down. We'll see if we've got any other questions. And yeah, I don't know why it's a bugger. Why am I eating a bugger, not a booger? That seems really weird. Really strange. Hello to Joe Glenn. I hope you are doing well, my friend. Thank you for being here. Am I going to have to go to the effort of making all my streams subscriber only? I guess I am. Let's make the change. We'll just make this real quick now. Doesn't take very long, but it just means that we can clear out a little bit of time. So we'll just do this. Boom. Saved in, and we'll be good to go. Someone said on the happy hour on the weekend, they're like, Pete, you know you've made it, mate, because as soon as you get people coming and spamming your live streams, then it means that you finally made it. I'm like, okay, I'll take that. I'll take that on board. But yeah, I really, I feel horrible. I feel terrible for people that have nothing to do, that the only thing that they can do with their time is to come and try and get attention through that. Not enough hugs. That's all I can say. Need more hugs. We need more hugs in the world. All right, let's continue on with the show. Next up in the list of topics. And once again, if you're just joining us, all of the topics that we're talking about are down in the description. So you can jump on down there and check out what we're talking about. And I'm padding because I'm trying to find my thing here. Yes, let's talk about this. Tomorrow. And rest assured, I've already put the subscriber only chat on this one. Tomorrow, I have a very special guest here on the channel, someone who's been on the channel before and who is probably my favorite person. In fact, it is my favorite person because it's my wife. Hello. Yes. Georgie will be joining me live to do a Ask Me Anything, but it's an Ask Me Wife Anything. Get it? See what I did there? So join me tomorrow with Georgie and we'll have an Ask Me Wife Anything. So that'll be happening at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Sorry, Russ, but 3 a.m. for those in the UK and Europe, and midday, the middle of the day for those on the east coast of Australia. So it's Friday. So make it a Poets Day. Do you know what poets means? I think I can swear because we're far enough into the stream that I can do that. But have you ever heard of poets? When you're working on a Friday, it might be an Australian thing, or maybe tell me if it's other places of the world. Poets is piss off early, tomorrow's Saturday. So whenever you leave early, you're in the office and you're like, all right, folks, poets. It's like piss off early, tomorrow's Saturday. Everyone goes down the pub, they enjoy a happy hour, and then they just have a few beers. And I think that's a good thing, and that's what everyone should do. Yes, midday for our Australian friends. I know I don't do many that are Australian friendly, but Ashley, that will help you out. Question from Zen Haircut. This is a cracking question. What would Jean-Sebastian Bach, is it those names? Jean-Sebastian Bach, J.S. Bach, have done with GarageBand? It really kind of hurts your brain, doesn't it, when you think about that? When you think about I often think what Freddie Mercury would have done with GarageBand. I often think what John Lennon and Paul McCartney could still use GarageBand if he wanted to. He could just pay boffins to do whatever he wants, though. But what would classical composers have done with GarageBand? Well, it would have streamlined their process. What I said before about workflow and people doing things differently, I think that would be all it was. So back in their days, they would have to sit at the piano, they would need their manuscript, they would have to get their quill, and they would have to write out and literally transcribe every note they play and then work out each part. So it just makes it quicker and more accessible. So I think if Bach had access to GarageBand, they would just be more prolific. They would make more music. Would they make better music? Maybe not. Would the Beatles or Queen make better music if they had 64, 128, 256 tracks? Maybe not. But they might have made it quicker and they might have made it more high fidelity. But would the actual songwriting have been any different? I don't know. What do you think? I would like to get your opinion on that. Let me know. Gary Chapman says, can't start till 3 a.m. as I need to stay awake for YML Friday night. I know, I'm giving you that, and then I'm saying, yeah, YML the following day. So, yeah, understand that replays are a good thing. So jump on that. I'm sorry I missed this. On the other hand, I'll be walking through the woods. I was walking through the woods someday. Let's see. Midday is good for you. Keep Gravity Cam over there in Melbourne. Yeah, midday. It'll be a good time. So me and my wife, it'll be midday. Which what is it? The yard arms above the something, and that just means that we can probably have a beverage while we chat, which could make it even more interesting, right? I did see Paul use a door on a TV show once. Yeah, so if you, slight side note, because we talked about this about 4 or 5 episodes ago, but if you've got Apple TV Plus, catch the show called Watch the Sound with Mark Ronson. He actually talks to Paul McCartney. So Watch the Sound is an Apple TV show. Obviously, it's very highly pushed towards Logic and GarageBand because it's Apple. Like, why wouldn't it be? And Mark Ronson then got that sound pack and put it on GarageBand. So you can use some of the sounds in there. So the Mellotron sound that they have in there is very similar to that Strawberry Fields Mellotron sound. It's very, very cool. So yeah, go and check that one out. But yeah, I'm sure Paul does use some DAWs these days, or at least has other people that makes it sound bad. It's like, oh, old Paul McCartney probably doesn't know how to do it. No, he probably knows what he's doing. Hello, Ricardo. I just wanted to say thank you for uploading all these videos. I'm currently working on my own music, as I'm sure everyone else is, and I'm having a blast. That's what it's all about, my friend. Having a blast, having fun with what you do. It's all about enjoying yourself and just getting stuff done, getting music recorded. I say this far too often, but I'm going to keep repeating it because I know new people come and go from the channel. But music is always music takes you up a level. I'm going to talk about Dan Baker lately. I'm going to tease this because I'll talk about that right at the end of the show. But Dan Baker is an amazing musician and an even better human being. And I'm going to talk about something that he shared this week right at the end of the show that really just explains and really just encapsulates what I mean when I say that music takes you up a level. When you are feeling despair, music brings you back to some level of coping. When you are coping, music might make you feel more normal and stable. When you're stable, music makes you feel good. When you're feeling good, music makes you feel great. That's the way that I think. Anyway. All right. I'll be credited on your EP. Nice one. Very cool. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. And hello to Teenage Utopia channel. You use GarageBand. Very cool. Thank you for being here. All right. Let's move to our next topic, and that is this one. YouTube and copyright. So there is a fantastic video. Does anyone know who Tom Scott is? Tom Scott is a super talented creator, a super funny dude, a super interesting dude, and he's got a channel that goes into a whole bunch of different topics, and he actually tackled the YouTube content system topic better than anyone else. Now, it's a 42-minute video, so it's linked down to the description. If you are at all interested in YouTube, Content ID, copyright, fair use, sharing your music, how that all works, watch this video. It is 42 minutes, but you will gain so much knowledge in this period of time. And again, 279,000 people and 5.5 million views. They can't be super wrong, right? So go and check out Tom Scott's video. So to give you a bit of an idea of what you'll get in that video over there, though, he talks all about, and basically the title of the video there says, YouTube's content system isn't broken, the world is. So he talks about the fact that people give YouTube and their Content ID system a hard time. And I've done it too. I've sat here and railed against YouTube, railed against copyright, railed against Content ID. Here's the harsh truth and reality of the whole situation. And that is that it's not really YouTube. YouTube are trying to do the best they can with a broken copyright system because the copyright system was written for physical media. It had no business understanding how we were going to share things with Napster, with iTunes, and now with Spotify and Deezer and Apple Music and YouTube Music and all the streaming platforms. It wasn't set up for those. So what did YouTube do? Here's the basics. Here's the 2-minute version of this. YouTube realized this. They realized that it wasn't feasible for you as a creator every single time you were using any music that you didn't own for you to go and get the rights to that music. So what did they do? They put in this ID system where you could use that. So if you do a cover song, if I do cover songs and I do them every week, I do a cover show every week. When I do cover songs, instead of me having to go out to and try and find whoever's owning the Beatles catalog, Queen's catalog, Queens of the Stone Age, why did I go two Queen bands? I can just play those, and YouTube behind the scenes will identify them and then understand who the publishers are because they've submitted that here's all of our songs, and then any revenue I make from those videos goes back to the original copyright holder. That's actually the way things are kind of supposed to work. If you are using other people's stuff, they should be getting a cut of it, and that's how it works. Now, the whole copyright system has kind of fallen over because people take advantage of this. People are releasing things a bit like the old domain squatters. People are releasing songs just to get the copyright and then trying to basically squat on songs. People have done things like use GarageBand loops and GarageBand samples and tried to use that to actually put Content ID on those. So if anyone uses those loops, it gets flagged. Apple tried to prevent this, but it's hard to do. It is a little bit messy, but it's the best that we have now. Anyone that's tried to share something on YouTube, on Facebook or Twitch knows that it's even harder there. They don't have a Content ID system. So what do? They just pull everything down. Our man Ron Ward, who runs some live shows, he does GBU Live and Indie Live, he's had to move them to YouTube because YouTube is the only place that reasonably manages you playing anyone else's music. And the weird thing is, even your own music, when you release your own music, if you choose to put Content ID on it, it can be a bit of a minefield. I have a situation where I release some songs through a distributor called Amuse, and every time I use those songs in my videos, I get a copyright claim from myself through my own distributor. So it's a bit weird. So if you are interested at all, once again, if you're interested in copyright, do yourself a favor, spend 42 minutes, it's less than an hour, it's like 2 episodes of Ted Lasso, just go instead and watch that video and you will be enlightened to the behind the scenes world of YouTube, Content ID, copyright. You won't be disappointed, I promise you. All right, I'll just see if we've got any questions and then we'll move on to our next topic. Joe Glenn says, thank you again, Pete, from Barry and me for adding bass last night. Barry's really enjoying doing this project. Excellent, and hopefully it worked. In fact, it's our next topic, so hold that thought. We'll talk about that in a moment, but we'll just continue on here. Pagan Song says, thanks for your help. Just released my first album on DistroKid because I learned about it from you. Thank you so much. Well, that is awesome to hear. That is super cool that you're getting your music out there. I love it. Yeah, Tom Scott is absolutely amazing. A lot of Brits know of Tom Scott. He does really, really good stuff. His pen name Cynthia Hart album is called Electric Heart. I hope you're going to submit one of your tracks to Your Music Live. In fact, if anyone wants to submit a song to Your Music Live, I do that show every week. It's on Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And sorry, but 7 a.m. Saturday morning for us here in Australia. But we play 2 hours of the best independent music, home recorded music in the world. So Pagan Song, I'll be expecting your submission, studiolive today.com/YML, and you can check that out. Hopefully that helps you out, and hopefully that helps other people out as well. Gary, finish your lunch break. Catch you tomorrow on YML. Absolutely. Thank you for being there. Already submitted. Brilliant stuff. Get amongst it. Orchestra Eclipse says, I do covers too and share revenue with original creators, but most of my videos don't get claimed and I get to keep full revenue. Yeah. The thing about that is, until you're popular. It's interesting. Just talk to Rick Beato about that once, because there's 2 types of claims. There's manual claims and there's automated claims. So automated claims will only happen if the song is so close to the original. And again, if you're doing covers, if you're using MIDI files, or if you're doing cover versions of songs, they're not necessarily going to actually exactly match the original. The automated algorithm may not pick them up. But later down the track, people can go back and manually claim. So every week I get 5 to 10 emails that say, YML episode 33, like a year ago, you've got a copyright claim. Because people can add it over time too. Even if it's not copyright claimed back then, it can happen down the track. It's as I said, as Tom Scott says, it's not broken, the world is. YouTube's not broken, the world is. I kind of like that. I kind of like that one. Can I use the Lady Gaga vocal in the recent GB update in my song? Not that I want to, just wondering. Great question. No, you can't. So the new GarageBand update, we had a bunch of videos here on the channel. You can check them out. Just search Pete John's GarageBand update. There's a heap there. it had 10 different packs. There were 8 sound packs, which had completely free to use, royalty free, commercial use available packs that had a whole bunch of sounds and loops and all sorts of things in there. And then they had 2 live loop grids, Lady Gaga and Dua Lipa. Those ones you can't use. They're for your own personal use to play around with. Because if you used one of those, what would happen? It would get a Content ID claim because they are entire chunks of songs. So if you incorporated those in your songs, in your projects, you would get a copyright claim pretty much straight away. When I did the video, even when I was doing the video showing those packs, I had to be super careful because otherwise it would have claimed immediately. So even just playing them, I had to be super careful. Gregory says, my love will tear us apart cover didn't get claimed. What an insult, right? Exactly. It's almost a bit of a proud moment when you do get that claim that comes through. I'm like, yeah, man. When I do a Foo Fighters cover and I'm like, this is a cover of Foo Fighters. I'm like, yeah, man. I just bought Dave Grohl like half a beer with the $2 revenue I'm going to make on that video over the next 2 years. It's fun. Alrighty. But Russ says I changed my In the Air cover so it never got claimed. Yeah, and it won't. And again, it never got claimed then, but it may get claimed in the future. And it's just the way it rolls, and it's fine because both sides of the coin. It's kind of like when I was a dodgy teenager downloading things on Napster, I wasn't really thinking about the artists. But now that I am an artist, I kind of think about it from both sides. In that, yeah, if you're sharing stuff. You kind of don't want it to be stolen and not getting any revenue from it, then maybe it is a good thing to do. I still think that none of my music is, apart from the stuff I released on Amuse accidentally that went into Content ID, nothing else I'm putting out, I'm going to put into Content ID because I just don't want to. Let's talk about collaborations. So you saw Joe Glenn earlier there talk about collaborations. Now I did a couple of collaborations in the last 2 days, and I'll call these accidental collaborations. So if you caught my live stream 2 days ago, that's this one where I talked about the iRig Pro IO. I actually started recording something for a viewer. So let's just take a quick look at this one. A bit of fun because I'm going to do something. What I'm going to do here now, I'll do it in the background here because I just need to jump over to my. I take a long time to say grab this email that I'm assuming that Carlito has sent to me. So I'll spare you the pain. You can go and watch the live stream. It was actually okay. But my friend Carlito, who has been a supporter of this channel for a couple of years, he sent me an email and basically said, Pete, I'm working on a song with a friend of mine. I can't play guitar. I'm visually impaired. In fact, Carlito is blind. So he can't actually play guitar because he has to play guitar upside down, basically. So if you've seen blind folks playing guitar, it's easier to play generally, and I'm assuming this is what Carlito does, to play it on a flat surface, which makes it really difficult to get that natural strumming pattern going on. So he said, can you play some guitar? And I said, why not? So I normally don't do this sort of thing, but I did that on the live stream. I was then listening to, a few days earlier, coincidentally, I was listening to a song by Joe and Barry Glenn, and they were saying, oh yeah, we've got this song here, but we really need bass and drums. And I'm like, ooh. And as I was listening to the song on another stream, I got an idea for a bass line. I'm like, this bass line needs to have this on it. So I grabbed my bass. And then today on the stream, Joe had sent me the project. So I opened up the project and started playing bass and recorded the bass line on there just to give that one a kick along. So I don't really know why I put this in the running sheet, except to say that I had an absolute blast doing that, because it's one thing to be recording things on your own songs. It's another thing to be collaborating with other people. So to have the opportunity to play, and again, I'm not a bass player, really, and I'm an okay acoustic guitarist, but it's not like, I don't know, I'm a bit of a bitzer. I'm a bit of this, a bit of that. So I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. So it was just really fun. It was interesting to hear the songs, to see the project, see how they've been put together, and then to try and help out members of the community. So if you do have something that you want help with and you are part of Songtember, and especially if you're one of my patrons, look, we're not pay to play around here, but those that support me, is more likely that I'm going to be able to find the time, or to do it on a live show like I did in the last couple of days. That's the sort of thing that we can do, because if I can kill, again, I keep saying kill two birds with one stone, but if I can actually help someone out, but also create some content that might help you when you go to collaborate with other people, then hopefully that can be a win-win-win kind of situation. So don't be afraid to collaborate. And I believe now that Jade Starr is going to play drums on that same track. And hopefully Jay will play drums on my song. I put together a drummer track on the song that I did today, and it's okay, but it's not fantabulous. So, all right, we are at the midpoint. In fact, we're 5 minutes past the midpoint. So we are going to we're going to do some midpoint motivation in a moment. We're going to just see if we've got any other questions from here. When I submitted to DistroKid, I got a copyright from myself. Hilarious. Yeah, it happens. It happens. And half a beer is always better than none. Any beer is better than no beer. I cannot play the didgeridoo. Do you know what you need to do to play a didgeridoo? You basically need to master circular breathing. Has anyone ever studied circular breathing and how that works? Basically breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth at the same time. No, can't do it. Not going to do it. You can't make me. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to play the didge. Sorry, Russ. That would be rough. And as Ashley says, collabs open up a whole new world of experience. Cam says, Deep Gravity. Hey, Pete, can you play bass, guitar, piano, and sing on my project? I haven't started yet. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Hello to Barry too. Thanks for the bass. No problem at all. Yeah, sorry, Cam. No. If you just say, just do all my work for me. It's like in class. Yeah. If someone asked me for help with one question, it was always a bit of a slippery slope, wasn't it? So you'd have the kid that would be sitting over next to you, and they'd say, "Oh yeah, what did you get for question 7?" And I'd be like, "It's B." And like, "You idiot," was what I was thinking. And then they'd be like, "Oh, thanks, man." And they'd be like, "And what did you get for question 8?" Be like, "C." But thanks, man. "Oh, what did you get for question 3?" I'm like, "We're going backwards now, are we?" Good on you, Trent. Because they were always called Trent for some reason. None of them were called Trent. But we just did. You just attempted it? Yeah. Everyone's sitting there at the moment just going... Anyone that just joined the video right now is so confused. They're like, what is going on right now? Yeah, circular breathing is really, really difficult to do. So, yeah, I can't do it. Joe Glenn can't do it. If Joe Glenn can play some mean whistles and other wind instruments. If Joe Glenn can't do it, I got no chance. All right. Let's talk about negative people, shall we? Not Trent, but other negative people. So I did a video a while back, and I bring this video up every now and then. Have I got it here? I think I forgot to put it in my list. It's down in the description, but I don't have it here in my sharing thing. But I did a video about negative people and the impact that negative people have. And the premise is simple with this one. And that is that successful people don't have time to bring you down. If someone is bringing you down, chances are that it is more about them and less about you. I say this a lot, and then I still come across situations where people are listening to either their own brains and their own self-doubt, which is bad, or listening to other people who are doubting them, which is worse. So let's start with number 1, your own self-doubt. Everyone has their own self-doubt. We are all our own worst critics, but when you're starting doing anything, beating yourself up about it, telling yourself you're crap and telling yourself you're never going to succeed hasn't ever helped anyone ever. Yeah? If you can give me an example of where someone has been really hard on themselves, has told themselves that they're crap, have said, I'm never going to succeed at this, and then magically just suddenly became really good at it, I would love to see it because I have simply never seen it. The other side of it, someone else telling you that you can't do it. If they are a successful person, if they are successful at what they do, and let's use music, you could use any example of this, but we're talking music because it's a creator town hall. We're talking creativity. If you are a creator and you are sharing stuff with other people and they come at you with insults and with things telling you, you're nothing, you're worthless, this is crap, you're never going to amount to anything, why do you even bother with this stuff? Why are they doing that? You got to think, follow the logic, follow the money. Work out why they would actually say that and what's in it for them. Usually, it's a couple of things. It's really super low self-esteem on their behalf, so they are feeling threatened and they need to lash out against other people to bring other people down so that their mediocrity suddenly seems slightly better. That's number 1. Number 2 is that they may have all those same self-doubts that you do. So it's kind of the same sort of thing. Number 3 is that they've probably poured a lot of time and money and emotion and energy into doing what they do. So if they see you coming at them with your iPhone in your hand, with GarageBand, and they've got a $20,000 Pro Tools rig, of course they're going to feel pissed off because they've injected a whole bunch of time, money, and effort into something that they think is far superior. And then you come along with your little iPhone and a little 4-track demo, and it sounds better than what they can create. Oh no! What do they do? And number 4 is successful people just don't have the time. They simply don't have the time. If you're on a forum that's a professional forum, the Pro Tools, I don't mean to pick on Pro Tools, but I've been on Pro Tools forums and I've been on Logic forums, and it seems, here's the thing, the more professional the piece of kit, the bigger D-bags seem to hang out there. So on the Pro Tools forums, on the Logic forums, on the Reaper forums, there seems to be a lot of people that are quote-unquote experts that spend all of their time on these forums telling other people what they're doing wrong. And if you go to their profiles and look at what they're creating, it's either nothing or it's not very good. Yeah, it's either nothing or it's not very good. It's sad, but it's true. And I say all of that not to bring those people down, but to encourage you to not pay any attention to anyone that's going to bring you down, because they're only doing it for one of those reasons. If they're trying to help you, they will do what we see on the groups that I'm participating in, on the Create, Record, Release, on the We All Rise Together group, on the GarageBand users group, on the Home Studio Recording Zone group. On all of these groups, the people there, sure, they'll give some criticism, sometimes some harsh criticism, but it's all intended to help other people improve their creativity, to improve their songs. They're not discouraging anyone. It would be like, it doesn't make any sense. Think about it in this term. If you walked into Coles and the people that ran Coles told you how crap all their products were and that you should never go there and buy anything again, that's not the right thing to do. Why would you try and isolate your customers and try and push people away? You wouldn't. So if you're running a group about creativity and about making music, you want more people to create more music, not less. So keep that in mind. Next time you're around some of these groups, next time you're around some of these haters, some of these negative people, think about the reasons why they're saying the things they're saying. And I promise you, 99 times out of 100, it is less about you and it's more about them. That's all I got to say about that. Deep Gravity, my DAWs are powered by a Flux capacitor. So if you don't have one, it'll sound crap. Absolutely. And thank you, Ricardo. I'm glad to have you around here. Hello to Alexbaum. Didn't expect to see you here. Well, it's my channel, so that's kind of where I hang out. Alrighty. We're going to move on from this because I do get on my my high horse, my soapbox every now and then. But I just, it pisses me off. To be very honest, it really pisses me off because I've seen too many talented people stop creating music because of what Stranger Pants 79 on the internet says about their creating, and it's just a giant box of turds, in my opinion. Let's talk about your YouTube channel, shall we? And your YouTube channel setup. So I don't have a reference or a video for this one, but I'm going to jump over to my YouTube channel. So there's a couple of things you can do with your YouTube channel that's going to help you out. So if we go in and we go to my YouTube studio, you can actually customize your channel. So here's the thing. If you've got a YouTube channel and you're sharing your music on there, you want people to come and find your stuff, yeah? You want people to come and check you out. So if you go to YouTube and you go to your channel, here I am, I've gone to my channel. And what do I have over here? Well, this is what I look like. I've got a nice banner that very simply says what I do. Now, if this is you, make sure that this says what you do. I create really cool, folksy music. So if this was Joe and Barry Glenn, I would have their header here saying, homegrown folk tunes released every week. I don't know, whatever they want to do. So you can put something there. Have a nice picture there. Make sure it's nice and curated there. But then this is the important stuff. Up the top here, because I'm live now, I set my channel to actually have the live stuff right up front. I've then got a playlist called New and Noteworthy. So if someone comes to my channel and starts checking out what I'm doing here, they get some of the newest and my best. I'm putting my best foot forward, yeah? It's kind of like having a resume. You want to make sure that you've got good quality stuff in that first couple of sentences to make sure that people stick around. I've then got upcoming live streams. So my channel is built around live. It's called Studio Live Today, for goodness sake. So I want you to come to my live stream. So the next thing there, after you've gone, oh, here's some cool videos, I'm going to watch some of them. Hopefully you're going to then set some reminders here. And you can do this right now and check out the next few live streams that we're doing here. GarageBand iOS is the next thing that I focus on. So next up, I've got some playlists there for GarageBand iOS. Now, if you want to do this yourself, all you need to do is come in here, go to your channel, and you'll find this Customize Channel button here. Just click on that one. It's going to jump you into your channel customization, and you can set all this up. So you can come in here. It's quite intuitive. You can add different sections here. You can create your different playlist sections, and you can do exactly what I've done there and set up everything so that when someone visits your channel, that you're putting your best foot forward. Always have your newest stuff, your best stuff, the stuff you want people to see. Make sure that that's right there front and center on your channel, and you'll be good to go. So that's all I wanted to say about that, because I see a lot of folks who are sharing stuff on YouTube and it's really cool, but they haven't gone to that little bit of effort. You could literally spend 10 minutes right now. As soon as this show's finished, spend 10 minutes and just go in there, create a couple of playlists. If you don't know how to do that, just YouTube it. Just Google search it. That's what Google's for. How do I create a playlist on YouTube? How do I customize my channel on YouTube? I've just shown you how, but there's plenty of videos out there to show you how. So don't think I've only got 10 subscribers, 100 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers. It doesn't account to me. No, it counts for everyone, because as soon as I send someone over to your channel, like I've shown in this video, I've shown Jade Starr's channel, I've shown Darren Anderson's channel, Gregory S. Sullivan's channel, and Ashley HM's channel. When people go there, they're going to say, hey, what's this all about? And as soon as they click or tap on that channel page, they're going to be presented. And that's your opportunity to tell people what you're all about. So don't miss your opportunity. It's not M&M's not right. You don't have one chance. You've got multiple chances. So you don't have to worry. It's not life and death here, but definitely go and check it out. Good point, but you can't do it through the iPad YouTube app on iOS. You 100% can't, Russ. And in fact, I was thinking, I must have been channeling you today, Russ, because I was working on some stuff. And what you can actually do, and I won't show it in detail here because we're short on time, but I'm going to do some videos soon, because I've been playing around with YouTube here on Safari, and you can actually go into desktop mode. If you go to studio.youtube.com, it will pop up, and then if you tap in the top left corner, you can't see that very well, but see how it says, if you tap in those little AA, it says request desktop site. It'll try and send you to the app, but if you go request desktop site, look at that. It gives me my desktop site there. Now, it's a little finicky because you have to kind of scroll around, but you can do absolutely everything right here on your phone or your tablet. So I can go in here. Can't really see it there. Go in here to my channel and go into my different videos. And look, that's the view that I get over on my, I'll just have to do it that way. That's the view that I get. So I can go into all of my videos. I can do thumbnails. I can do cards. I can do end screens. Yeah, it's small as crap and it's really hard to navigate around, but you can do everything that you need, that you can do on a Mac or a PC right here on your iPhone or iPad. Again, the key is studio.youtube.com. Here's what it'll do. If you go studio.youtube.com, it'll come up. Actually, I've got to reset it now because I've got it going to there. So if you go to Safari, so go to your phone right now, your phone or your iPad, and go to Safari and type in studio.youtube.com. It'll come up with this super unhelpful thing saying, we've got an app for that. You say, no, bad YouTube. We hate your app. And then you tap on the little AA icon in the top left. You tap request desktop website, and boom, it takes you straight over to your complete website, and you can jump straight in there and get everything set up. So do that. But I've got some videos coming up that I'm going to show that in a little bit more detail, because I know that many folks, you're not the only one who tries to do things on mobile and gets annoyed by YouTube's limitation, because it sucks. It really does. Orchestra Eclipse says, I use Canva for my thumbnails. Yes, thumbnails, Canva is great. I use Canva on both my iPhone and iPad and my Mac and my PC for thumbnails. It's very cool. Yeah, it is. It's super handy. Use that. And you know the other cool thing? Sorry, I'm getting excited here now. But I was trying to, because I've got this Ask Me Anything with my wife tomorrow. So I was trying to quickly download some of the old videos that we did together, like way back when. So I just went to my studio.youtube.com, and then up the top, you can't see this at all, but up the top there you can filter. So I tap on the filter button, you can follow along at home, and I just typed in, because they were called Jargon Busters. So I literally just typed in jargon on my channel, and it searched through, and I'll do it here now. Jargon, title contains jargon, go. And hopefully it'll work now and not call me a liar. Now it's not doing it. All right, trust me on this one, that when I did it before, I was able to actually go ahead. Title contains jargon. There we go. It's worked now. So there's all of the videos. And then what you can do, did you realize you can download your own videos using Safari, your old YouTube videos? So go to your channel, studio.youtube.com, search your video, tap it, and then over here, you'll get these little 3 dots. You tap on the 3 dots and you go download, and then it'll open up the Safari browser. In fact, you have to hold down on the download button. It'll open up the Safari browser like that. And look, download. You download the MP4 file of your own video. Now, I know that doesn't sound super exciting, but it's actually quite tricky to do any other way. But that's one way that you can actually jump in there and get that done. So there you go. A few mobile creator tips here for you if you are doing that. Canva for the win. Absolutely. Canva for the win. What have we got to go? All right, so we'll talk quickly about these. We've got 10 minutes left in the can, and we've got a few things to get to. So Apple's September event is coming. Who's excited? Who's excited to find out what iPad? Well, let's be honest, it's going to be the iPhone, right? Go over to Rene Ritchie. He's linked down below. He always gives the scoop, and he's quite entertaining. So I like Rene Ritchie. So he talks about the Apple event. Now, here's what's going to happen. They're going to talk about the Apple iPhone 13. It's not going to be a huge upgrade. It's going to look pretty much like that, and it's not going to really have anything else. 120 hertz refresh rate, maybe a few more megapixels or things on your camera. I don't know. So this is basically an S year for iPhone, which means that there's not going to be anything revolutionary. It'll kind of look the same, feel the same, do the same. If you've got an iPhone 12, you won't upgrade, or you probably won't. If you've got an iPhone 11, maybe. If you've got an iPhone 10 or earlier, you probably will. That's the way Apple are thinking right now. Are there going to be iPads, AirPods, Macs, other things? Your guess is as good as mine. I must admit, I'm a little tired. I'm a little bit over all of the Apple-related speculation. And it seems like you may be as well, because over on my community tab, and you can check the community tab down in the description as well, I asked a question about this. And I asked this one here. How excited are you about the September Apple event where we're expecting a new iPhone 13 and possibly new iPads? 45% of you, of the 338 votes, 45%, half of you said, meh. And I think that's exactly how I feel. I'm like, I'm not excited. I'm not completely unexcited. I'm just like, just friggin' tell me what's coming out. Like, I don't want to have to sit through an hour-long keynote for you to go, it's an iPhone 13, it's a new iPad with a slightly larger screen, and we got new AirPods. Just tell me that. Am I just getting old and cranky in my old age? Probably. But there you go. But for the 13% that are stoked and the 20% that are expectant, here's hoping we get something cool. Let's go with that. Chris Hadfield is I was going to say magician. No, he's not. He is he's an astronaut. And Mark, our buddy Mark Bro, who is probably just getting up and enjoying a cup of French press coffee in his Sharon is Karen studio live today, Mark, right now. But he put me on to something that I had no idea about. Did you know that Chris Hadfield recorded an album in space? Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Believe it or not, that Chris Hadfield, who's been to space like 3, maybe 4 times, he actually recorded an album in space called Space Sessions, Songs from a Tin Can. Yes, 100% yes. And even cooler than that, in this video that I've linked down in the description that Mark put me onto, he talks about the fact that he had to learn how to, he had to take a bunch of adapters along. He had to learn GarageBand before he went, because he's like, oh, they're not going to have much. I better learn GarageBand on iPad. I had this fantasy, until I realized this was 2015, and this was before I started my channel, I had this fantasy of Chris Hadfield sitting there watching one of my tutorials going, okay, so you press the plus button, and then you go to the sections, and then you scroll up. But no, clearly didn't happen. But I hope that maybe he watched some Patrick videos, GarageBand guide, maybe. But how cool is that? I won't spoil it for you. I won't tell you the sort of music he recorded. I won't tell you some of the interesting things around trying to record in 0G with a guitar and with singing. Like, imagine You know, when you sing and, spit's flying out there, imagine if it wasn't leaving and you're trying to, it would just be the weirdest thing. So go check that one out. And a huge thank you to Mark Bro for giving me the detail there, because it was cool. I hope he wasn't with Telstra. Yeah. I don't think he was streaming live, Cam. I don't think so. New GB stuff at the event? I doubt it. I think GB got its big boom at the recent sort of off-cycle launch that they did there. But never say never, because iOS 15 is coming. We know that pretty much for sure, that iOS 15 will come with the new iPhones. So maybe there'll be a tweak. You know what? Give me a master track and give me an ability to turn off the automated limiting, and I'd be a very happy chappy. That's all I'll say about that. Alrighty, we have only two things to talk about. So this is sort of the last sort of section here. I'll just have a quick drink. We're going to do some quick fire Q&A. So if you have any other final questions, please throw them here in the chat. If you're watching on the replay, just drop your questions down below. We will get to those, and we will have the AMA tomorrow. So even though it said Ask My Wife Anything, if you have a recording-related question, we'll try and sneak a couple in. She'll just glaze over and just not be very interested, but we'll try and help you out if you did have a question. But drop it in the comment of this one, because I'm always down in the comments. I do answer every comment, and yes, it is a bit of a burden, but not in a bad way. It's a good burden. Wait, did I just say good burden? Let's answer some questions. Shut up, Johns. Answer some questions. Quickfire Q&A. Connecting multiple USB devices to an iPad or iPhone. Is it compatible with a Mini 2? iPad Mini 2. Here's the problem. Anything earlier than an iPad Mini 4, an iPhone 6S, an iPad Pro, or an iPod Touch 7th generation cannot run iOS 13 or 14 or soon to be 15, and therefore doesn't have things like USB mouse support or USB file support. So it's very sad, but to answer this question here, if you've got an iPad Mini 2, you're kind of SOL when it comes to USB and file-related stuff, which, as we know, means sort of out of luck. Next quickfire question. So this is about custom preset. So P. Radash says, that was awesome, Pete. Thank you so much. One from left field. Do you know if you can change the guitar in GarageBand iOS to display as a left-handed guitar? No. Alas, you cannot. So Pete, from one Pete to another, no love for lefties. When it comes to GarageBand iOS, no love for lefties, which kind of sucks, because how simple from a programming perspective would it be to just allow you to invert the GarageBand guitar? It cannot be that hard to program it. But if you're a lefty out there, you know how much society doesn't respect you and how difficult they make it for you to do everything right. Okay, is there any way to fit third-party loops BPM into a project? There's two ways. Number one is to set your project tempo to the same tempo as the beat that you're importing. Number two is to use an app like Audio Stretch or something like Logic or like GarageBand on Mac that has flex time. Unfortunately, if you're using GarageBand iOS and you bring something in, unless your project matches the BPM or the tempo of the actual file, you're out of luck. So you'll need to use something like Audio Stretch is the app I recommend on iOS. Jake Hoffman says, hey Pete, quick question if you don't mind. Is it possible to delete a track and then re-upload it with a different artist name? And this is a DistroKid question. This is probably the question I get more often than any about DistroKid, which is, what if I need to pull a song down and then put it back up? If you use a different artist name, most of the platforms, particularly Spotify and Apple Music, won't like it. So you may need to tweak the song, tweak the track, tweak the file, and maybe even change the name of the song to kind of work around. The reason being that Spotify and Apple Music have kind of got sick of everyone making their fire beats, releasing them, pulling them down, and trying to re-release them to get onto playlists. So the reason that they've stopped that is that they found that the same artists were re-releasing and trying to re-promote and re-playlist the same song 3, 4, 5, 27 times using different song names, different artist names, different distributors. Because it's so accessible now, unfortunately, it is open to abuse. So you may find it a problem. That's why I say, measure twice, cut once. Like, really go to a lot of effort before you release a song to make sure it's the right song under the right name with the right file and all the right metadata. You can change it, but you can also get yourself into trouble trying to change things. Final quick fire high five question. Is this one from Dave Fox? Thanks, Pete. I'd put GB down as a toy for kids with iPhones. I was very wrong. Yes, you were, Dave Fox. Yes, you were. And that's all I got to say about that. Sorry, Dave. I just wanted to throw that one in at the end because I thought it was super funny. And my response to Dave was, yeah, we all did. We all thought that when we first started using GarageBand. Everyone thought that it was a toy for kids. And I blame Steve Jobs because he got on stage in 2004 and said, finally, this is the music creation platform for non-musicians. And I went, oh no. And 17 years later, we're still battling against that misconception that if you use GarageBand, you are not a real musician. Well, guess what? You know what the definition of a professional musician is? You make money from your music. And you know what you can do if you release your song using DistroKid? You can make money with your music. So, more fool you, Steve Jobs, and anyone else that says they can't do that. There you go. Thank you, Dave. Dave's here in the live chat as well. I thought that was funny, Dave. I had to show it. All right, we are coming towards the end here. Zen Haircut's got a quick question here. How come the preset guitar tracks in a singer-songwriter doesn't work? They should. They should work. Jump over to the GarageBand users Facebook group. If you're having trouble with GarageBand, I couldn't recommend the GBU, the GarageBand users Facebook group, enough. It is outstanding. We've got like 12,000 people there, like a ridiculous number of people there, a heap of GarageBand experts. You're talking like Patrick Baird, Dan Baker, Dean Davis, like a whole bunch of people there. Jade Starr's there. I'm hanging out there. It's very, very cool. It's a good time. So do jump on over there. Yep, you are Deep Gravity. $1.70 from your music. You are professional. The ATO will be knocking on your door asking for the tax revenue from all of that sweet, sweet dollars. There you go. We'll just sneak another one here. Do you know if there is an effect or plugin for iPhone where I can glide notes? I figured it out with bass, but I would like to do it with other instruments. So it depends. Again, this is probably a question for the GarageBand users Facebook group, but some of your, on iPhone, so some of your GarageBand instruments will have it. So some of your Alchemy instruments will have the ability to use glissando. You're looking for anything that has glissando to be able to glide between your notes. So any of your keyboard instruments, anything, there's usually three options. There's scroll, there's glissando, and there's pitch. You want either pitch or glissando. Pitch will do that. Ooh. Glissando goes and scroll just goes. You know what I mean, though. All right, we're going to finish off here with a couple of quick things because we are over time. Number one is I teased this earlier, and I wanted to talk about it before we finished the show here. And that is a post, and I'm putting this up here because it was made public. I wouldn't normally put this because it's on Facebook, but our man Dan Baker put this up here today, and I'm going to leave you with this one, and then I'm going to tell you where you can go next because my man Mike over at Creative Source has a live show that just started. Don't go yet, but I'll tell you when to go, and you have to go in there and said, "Pete sent me." We're going to go and crash his party over there. But I'll read this for you. This is Dan Baker, amazing human. He says, did my gig at Sherborne Hospital today. A man sat outside with a nurse and she was helping him try to speak and move his right hand fingers. Quite clearly, a major stroke had befallen him. The nurse mentioned that he loved Neil Diamond. 10 seconds into my rendition of Sweet Caroline, he burst into songs. Lyrics completely comprehensible. He then got quite emotional and clapped afterwards by tapping his working hand on the bench. It's true what they say about music. Its ability to bring back memories and to bring someone back, however briefly. Drove away after the gig feeling quite uplifted, and I hope he enjoyed the tune. Is Dan Baker not the best human? Does he not win? As far as if there was a competition for humans, don't you think Dan Baker would win? Go over and check out Dan Baker. If you haven't checked out Dan Baker's channel, he's one of the most charming and interesting and intelligent and educational dudes that I've ever come across. And he's played violins on my songs. He's been here on the channel. We've chatted. He was on my 50th episode of GarageBand Weekly. He's just a stand-up dude. And I think that post just shows you. And the thing is, Dan obviously shared that, but he's not getting up there and screaming it from the rooftops about how good he is. He just does his thing. He just gets on there and does it day to day. So amazing stuff there, and please go and check out Dan Baker's channel. Speaking of checking out channels, let's do a live look in. They do this on the sport all the time. Let's do a live look into our man Mike over at Creative Source. Because if you jump down into the description, you'll notice that we have this going on right here now. What's all this then? Well, it's Mike and Ed Thorne. And Mike's got Ed, and he's also got Marlon from White Noise Studio on his show. Let's grab this one. I'm going to put this in the chat here because we're finishing here in about 1 minute's time. And what I want you to do, Mike does this show every week. It is sponsored by DistroKid, who are a sponsor of this channel, so full disclosure right there, but it is an amazing time, and he talks to, he plays 3 different songs from 3 artists, and him and his panel of experts talk about everything about that song. So jump on over there now and listen in on that one. I'll be there in a couple of minutes, and you can be there too. Say, Pete sent me here, studio live today for the win. Something else embarrassing, do whatever you want to. But I hope you enjoyed this show. Hit the thumbs up button if you did. Join me tomorrow. So remember, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Greenwich Mean, and midday for our Australian friends. Myself and my wife Georgie will be here. We'll be answering your questions live. We'll be having a good old time here on the channel. So thank you everyone for being here. The only thing I have left to say is please be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Keep creating, and I'll see you. I'll see you over here. Look, there's Ed, there's Marlon, there's Mike. They're having a good time. We'll have a good time too. See you real soon, folks. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.